He's dangerous. He's got dynamite in both fists.
This is a big fight for boxing fans all around the world.
How to exploit Joe's weaknesses and recognise his strengths.
Frank Warren suggested that the winner of this fight will go on.
So let's talk about Daniel Dubois against Joe Joyce this Saturday. Highly anticipated fight. As a kind of fan and fellow boxer, are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I am. And as I said before, I think both men deserve credit, definitely, for on the initial one, just taking the fight, and then being able to get it done in a circumstance like this, where everything's going on in the world, and then again to Frank and BT's credit that it's not a pay-per-view either is always a big thing. So yeah, credit to them all around for just putting this on for the fans, because it's definitely something we've wanted to see for a while, and obviously it's been hanging in the balance for a while as well with everything. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
And have you sparred one, both, neither?
I've sparred both quite a bit. So for the majority of this whole camp, or his camp and my camp, me and Joe were sparring. So I was back and forth there with him for weeks. And in the very early stages of my career, me and Daniel have done loads and loads of rounds. We actually had our debuts on the exact same days. And we just sparred a lot in them early couple of years. Really, the Peacock wasn't particularly far from me. They was always happy to have me down and whatever else, and we needed rounds. So yeah, I've done quite a few rounds with the pair of them, to be honest.
We've lucked out here then in this
yeah.
Starting with Joe, you've obviously sparred him in the past, but then been with him regularly this camp. How has he changed or developed in that time?
Well, this will be my first time kind of ever sparring with him, so I haven't seen too much kind of development of him. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't have known him from the past or anything like that at all. Not with Joe, with Daniel more so. But with Joe's like you know what you're going to get from him. You know exactly what you get, and he's well experienced as well, so he knows how to manage not just himself in the ring, but how to manage kind of his how he goes about it, how he sets the pace for a fight, his range, his distance, where he is, what he's doing. There's just a lot of knowledge he has in his head that he's able to use in the ring on, obviously, when you're sparring or on a fight night.
And you say, obviously, you know what you're going to get from him. I think most people who fought him would say the same thing. But how easy is it to combat what he brings?
That's the thing. Like, there's no surprises with Joe. He's not going to suddenly be extremely light on his toes and box on the back foot or whatever else. He's going to come forward. He's going to throw a lot of punches and put it on you. But as much as you may know that, it doesn't make it any easier when that 6'6" man is storming towards you and wants to take your head off it. Just because you know what he's going to do doesn't make it any easier at all. So having to deal with that is what makes it difficult, because there's not many heavyweights that have that kind of style that is just constant go, 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 go. Because don't get me wrong, there's some big heavyweights out there. There's some that come forward, but a lot of them take little breaks. They take little stops, little rests and whatever, and you can work in between those gaps. But with him, it's just go, 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 and trying to deal with that. Trying to deal with the fact that someone's always in front of you. There's such a presence. They know their way around the ring and how to maneuver you and manage you and whatever else. It just creates a lot of problems to deal with.
What can you tell us about Dubois? Obviously, it was some time ago when you guys sparred, but you know he's developed since, you've developed since. But what do you remember from those early sessions and from watching him since? How do you think he's improved since then? In what areas?
I think with Daniel again, he was very well schooled ABA wise. His shots are very straight down the pipe, very clean, very crisp, and he was always obviously a big guy and a massive puncher. So, but I think where I've seen him develop, because obviously we haven't sparred for a good few years now, but just watching fights and clips of him and whatever else, my criticism of him when before was I never thought he was particularly imaginative with his punches or combinations or just setups in general. Because he was so big, so long and so strong, he almost just punched through the target, whether your guard was there or not. He never really worried about getting around it, getting anywhere else. He just went through the gloves and went straight down the pipe with it. So that was my kind of early criticism of him. But as I've seen him, he's got more kind of flexible in his work. He's changed up angles. He works with the body a bit more and stuff, and he doesn't just try and smash through it. There's more finesse to his game now.
What sort of fight do you expect? Because they're both known as aggressive operators, but on the biggest stage, very important fight. Could it be a bit more thoughtful? Could it be a bit more kind of standoffish early on?
No, I don't think Joe will let it be. I think that if anyone was I think Daniel would be the slightly more reserved. More so because he's the more inexperienced guy, obviously the younger guy, and I think it benefits his style more to have a bit of a slower pace, to box more at range. So if anyone was going to lean that way, I think it would be Daniel.
Who hits harder, at least from your experience?
From my experience, Daniel out of the pair has hit me harder, but I may even give that to, obviously, when we were sparring those times. Me and myself, I was quite naive and I wasn't the best at riding shots, covering shots, or just protecting myself. So that will probably be my judgment on that one.
And I don't know if it will be kind of recency bias or if you want to stay loyal to Joe because you've worked with him more recently. But I have to ask you, given the opportunity, how do you see the fight panning out? Who wins and how?
It's a hard one because obviously being in the bubble as well, I've got asked this question quite a bit, and I've admitted to my own admittance I am on the fence. But it's too hard for me to separate because they both have contrasting styles of things that can beat the other one, but it's just about who on the night is going to be that guy to take control of the situation, take control of the fight, manage it in the way that benefits them best. But my answer is probably similar to everyone else's in the fact that it's a fight of two halves. That if Joe can be a bit evasive for the first half of the fight, let Daniel miss a few shots, let him just wear himself through a bit and get there into the second half where he is obviously more experienced, knows how to do it, and just kind of his more favourable area, then it can be more kind of his game of then really stepping the pressure on, putting it on him and wearing him through. Whereas if Daniel can stick nice and sharp early on and get through that guard, because I think Joe has been known to be quite lazy in them earlier rounds of that. He gets caught with quite a few shots, and it may be testament part and part to him just with the level of opposition he's been in. He's not been bothered about them, so he just thinks like, fuck it, I'll just walk through and I will get you, but I might take a few, but it doesn't matter because eventually I will get you. So that's worked for him in the past. I just hope that that's not the mentality he takes with this one. I don't think it will be because he understands what Daniel's game will be. But yeah, if Daniel can take advantage of that slow start from Joe sometimes that he's known to do, then it could be his fight within 6.
Okay, so 50-50.
Yeah. Bang on 50-50 for me, unfortunately.
No, that's fine. All right, well, really appreciate your time. Hopefully a fight will be announced for you in due course, but enjoy the rest. Hopefully lockdown will be lifted in a couple of weeks as well, fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Which area you're in, obviously, but
yeah.
But yeah, appreciate it, and best of luck in the next few weeks.
Cool. Cheers, bud. Thank you very much.